So a little while ago, I drew some really cool Five Nights at Freddy's pictures, and I thought to myself, why don't I remake those digitally? So without further ado, let's get into it, and I'm going to show you the process. So first, with a picture I titled Springlocked, pretty much just traced out the outline for the image, obviously over top of the original. I pretty much just traced everything from that, and then sort of built it up from there. Then after all that, I switched gears and started doing the blood. Now for me personally, the blood was actually pretty easy. Of course, all I did was just trace out the lines, you know, as you do. There were a few parts where I decided to change it up from the original. For example, there are many blood splatters on different places from the original. Like, for example, there's one like more on the chin area, instead of it all just being coming through the gaps of the teeth. Also, realistically, I don't think this is how like bloody a Springlock failure would be on the outside. I mean, obviously, since he has like the mouth open, you can obviously see a lot more. But other than that, I think it probably would be a little more, like, something more akin to the Fnaf movie Springlock scene. Then after filling out all the blood, I knew it was time to fill in the rest of the image with colour. So there I went, filling in the blacks where they needed to be black, and of course I'm filling in the skin tones. And then after filling in the skin tones, I decided to add some grey tones, obviously to all of the middle parts of the suit. After doing the middle, I decided to start doing the actual suit's colours. And then after doing all of that, I filled in the teeth with a lighter grey colour, to obviously make them look a little more decayed. And there you have it, folks, the finished Springlocked image. Very cool if I do say so myself. Now, let's move on to the next one. Here we have Scooped. Scooped was probably one of my favourite ones to do, mainly just because of how, just more organic it was. One part of this image I enjoyed drawing most was Enid's little teeth behind Michael's teeth, which I thought looked very cool. Of course, like Springlocked, I started tracing the outline over top of the original image, to get it to look as close to the original as humanly possible. After doing that, I obviously hid the original layer and started colouring in Michael. First I started with his hair, and then I moved to the blood on his shirt and his body. And then here we have it. The finished product. Scooped. Oddly enough, I forgot to draw the scooper when I did this digitally, so after the recording I went back and redid the scooper. So here's a version without the scooper, and a version with. Now after that, let's move on to the grand finale of this video. Bitten is my second personal favourite of the bunch. Obviously, being the Bite of 83, my favourite thing about it is the fact that how it gives us clear motivation for William. Okay, let's step away from theory stuff, because I really do not want to get into that right now. As usual, I obviously outlined the original to get it as close to the original as humanly possible. Something I think you may notice about this image, about Fredbear specifically. That's right, boys, I gave him motherfucking suspenders. I just thought it would be interesting to try differentiate him from all the other versions of Fredbear, where he's kind of just, like, naked aside from a bow tie. So I gave him some pants and some suspenders to add onto his bow tie. And of course, after doing that, I did my normal routine of outlining all of the blood. Outlining the blood was the fun part, to do all wacky shapes and stuff. Here's our blood-covered child inside of Big Animatronic's mouth. How fun. I bet he's enjoying his time. Look at him. There you have it, folks. There's the final photo. Bitten. Personally, I think all of these images were really cool, and I was really happy that I got to go over them again and give them a new fresh coat of paint. If you guys love FNAF content, please check out my FNAF retrospective series. I'm going to be doing remakes of the original 3 after making the 4th one. Oh, and if you also like FNAF plushies, please check out my FNAF Sanchi plushie review I made earlier this year. Anyway guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.